Dude, Luke, the printer's still busted, man. What the fuck?
What the fuck does that mean?
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode 63 of the Topless Robot Podcast. My name is Ryan.
I'm Tyler.
I'm Vito Pepitone.
It's enough to...
Yep, that's it.
That's it.
How's it going, guys?
Last week
Dan
was...
needs no introduction.
Yeah, well, just his laughter was enough of an identifying factor. Last week was Thanksgiving. Chill the fuck out, phone. I'm sick of your shit. And we hosted it here at the house. Everyone came by, and I got far too drunk.
White girl wasted.
Oh my lord. I wouldn't call it white girl wasted because it was all due to whiskey, gin, and rum.
But you can get white girl wasted on things that white girls don't drink.
Can you?
Yeah.
So then what's the defining element of white girl wasted? Because I thought the defining element...
Too
much, too fast, making a fool of yourself.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I made a fool of myself. I fortunately went to bed before anything like that could happen.
You hit that sleep wall quick.
Oh, yeah.
I saw the moment when you hit that fucking cliff and slid down.
Yeah.
I could see it in your eyes.
Yeah, I just realized that I was not going to be a good host unless I got a nap in, and then I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and the only two still awake were, well, aside from Jasmine, the only people still awake were you two.
Playing Rock Band.
Yeah, dude.
I was
played Rock Band all fucking night, and it was great.
In my bed, so.
Well, so I've spoken about this to a couple people, and I feel like there's a wall that I hit, but it takes like probably drinking an entire 750 in a party, like over a long party like that.
Yeah.
And then I liken it to if I took a single shot more after that. Have any of you played Grand Theft Auto 5 online at all?
A little bit.
If you're chugging whiskey in someone's house or apartment, you can actually drink yourself to death.
Really?
And yeah, you can just keep doing it. And your character, before he dies, he will screw the bottle and he'll like stagger a bit, politely set it on the counter, and just crumple into a pile on the floor and die. And that's how I would go. I would take that one shot over 750. I would politely put your bottle on the counter and just drop dead.
Was the last drink that killed him.
I ate so much on that day that I'm pretty sure just kept absorbing the alcohol, because I was like, I had to have had like a good 8 to 9 shots measurement wise.
Yeah.
Shooting. And I'm like, I'm okay.
I was mixing gin and squirt, and I was probably doing heavy pours on that.
Such a weird combination. So
It was
Down gin squirt.
Gin mixed with any citrus is a good combination.
Yes.
okay.
Or just gin.
Yeah,
Yes.
just gin as well. And it was Hendrix, so I feel bad for mixing it, but I also know that I would have been in way bigger danger way faster if I were drinking that straight.
If the bottle could break, I don't want it.
I started the night with a sour and then a glass of that Jameson Caskmates, the stout whiskey, which is super tasty.
I love that stuff. That
I just drank that straight and made good use of the little metal whiskey ice cube that I have.
I had 2 beers in a delicious mystery shot from my favorite bartender.
The mystery shot was orange juice.
No, Boston was really trying this year, like super hard. He was just like, first he yelled at me because I hadn't seen me in a while, and then he yelled at me asking for where my friend was, and then everyone started showing up, and he's just like, all right, is tonight the night, Brooksy? He calls me Brooksy. We call him Boston though, so like that's fine.
Brooksy.
Does he even have a Boston accent?
He is from Boston.
Okay.
Oh, well, at least there's that.
Yeah, and I didn't cave. Christmas, I told him on Christmas.
Is it at the one bar?
The bar formerly known as Nate's Third Base. Now,
Yes.
Third Base.
The place where I went that one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he lost the bar in the divorce.
Yeah,
and then the next day, immediately, his ex-wife had them remove his name from the bar.
Oh,
I still have one of the old T-shirts squirreled away somewhere. It's like my first dad shirt. You know?
It's already a creepy bar name, but taking the name out of it, now it's just called Third Base. Like
Third Base helps just slide it home.
That is a bar I would not go to. I wouldn't go. I would look at the name and be like, all right, see you later, guys.
Really, it's not a terrible place, especially the patio. Like the patio is right up on the water, and it's real nice, like cool place to chill.
Except when people are fighting on it.
It's not nearly as divey in like the way that it is inside as you would expect with the name like Third Base.
Okay.
I got drunk and graffitied T.S. Eliot on one of the bathroom walls there.
of course you did. Of course you did. That's the most Brooks thing.
So we finally vandalized over it, and it was very dumb. I was kind of mad.
The most divey bar that I've been to that has been like a dive bar that I never want to go back to
Hambone
is Iron Horse Saloon. It's in freaking Arcadia. And I went there to do
I don't think I've ever even been to Arcadia.
Yeah, I hadn't really either been. But
I've been in Neo Arcadia.
I went there for an open mic because the dude who runs it apparently loves us and just kept on like asking us to go. We're like, okay, let's go do an open mic. And it was an experience. It was definitely a biker bar, as you can tell by the name.
Sure.
I walk in and like there's just Trump stickers all over the place.
Oh boy.
It's the exact kind of people you expect inside a biker bar, and I'm like, I
Good,
don't
upstanding
belong.
citizens.
Yeah.
And I sat down, and
I would argue
Dentists.
that's a bit of a generalization.
it is a
because
generalization. That's fair.
As someone who grew up partially biker, there are good bike organizations there. I mean, it's kind of all across the
as
board. You
someone
can't
who
really
is
generalize.
biker culture.
Stereotyping, which is never good. But when you think biker stereotype,
It depends on how you're raised.
I think of Terminator
Because,
2.
like I said, since I was raised around bikers, that's not the stereotype that my brain goes to. It goes to like a family kind of thing.
I get where you're coming from.
But, yeah.
I mean, the only bikers that I've ever interacted are bikers that get really drunk and like fuck with my family. Like this one biker chick while we were eating dinner.
You see, now I'm just picturing this in black and white, and it's
Walked up
raining.
and asked my dad if he wanted to go play butt darts with her. It's like, cool. This is the biker life, huh? You just get really fucked up and fuck with people that are having a nice dinner.
It's not all like
I know
that.
it's not, but like that's all I've interacted with.
The lack of setting there is making me think that's just you're at home eating dinner, and this lady just walked in.
breaks into
You trying to fuck or what?
Yeah, I think honestly you could probably do generalizations depending on what type of bike. Because I grew up around
like Vespas.
Well, I'm talking about beach cruisers, obviously.
well, so I grew
Fucking
up,
hogs, brother.
I grew up around BMW bikers. So it was a BMW motorcycle club, and it was all lounger, old, like loungy BMW bikes. We'd go to like motorcycle rallies and shit like that, and go camping.
Hell's
So, like,
Dad.
It was all a family
These
thing.
weren't the people who like lay on their bike and have their hands like
Not like that.
with,
no,
with the what do they call those? Ape hangers?
ape hangers. Yeah,
Yeah.
they are actually called ape hangers. Yes.
Hey man, I've played Road Rash. Okay, I know what being a biker is all about. And I
He wears a leather jacket, okay?
And I choose the chain.
Then that means you heard pre-popular back when Sugar Ray was hardcore. Mean Machine.
Jesus.
Which so I know you put down the one thing on the list that was music related. So I think that this should be acceptable as well.
Oh yeah.
Did you guys see that the lead singer of Mark McGrath,
Yes.
lead singer of Sugar Ray, was hired on Cameo to break up with the girl's boyfriend?
Yeah.
Because Sugar Ray was like his favorite band.
Yeah.
He was so nice about it, too.
He was like super cool about it, super chill about it. It's like
sometimes sometimes relationships go this way, and she still cares about you, but doesn't see the relationship going any farther. It's like,
This is such a weird future in which we live, where we can hire washed up rock stars,
dude,
to break up with our significant other.
I don't care. That's the kind of shit that I would love to do. I hope one day that somebody wants to hire me to break bad news to people.
Dan, I feel like there's a business opportunity for us here. Let's all do it. It'll cost extra for teams of us, but we can break up with someone as Mega Dan Brooks on Topless Robot Podcast.
The other music related thing that you might be interested in, Brooks,
Slayer's
is
last show.
What?
Yeah, Slayer played their last show.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I don't care about Slayer. I'm sorry.
Slayer, bro.
Yeah, I don't really care.
One of the guitarists from Every Time I Die, Andy Williams. He's this huge fucking dude.
Oh yeah.
He had a wrestling debut.
Yeah.
As he was
Wasn't
like
it
a
on
wrestling duo.
AEW or-
AEW, yeah. He was part of a team, The Butcher and the Blade, and I think he came out wearing a monocle.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
What a world we live in.
dude. Yep. Yeah.
Usually it's wrestlers trying to become musicians.
Yep. Nope. This time it's a musician who became a wrestler.
And wrestlers becoming actors and actually being fairly successful at it.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at The Rock
Roddy Piper.
and Roddy Piper and Hulk Hogan and
John Cena.
shit like that. John Cena. John Cena's been great.
I love John Cena's all of his movies that he's been in that I've seen. I like,
Yeah.
like Cock Blockers or whatever it was. Is actually really
Blockers
funny.
was actually pretty funny.
Or his team up with Scooby-Doo.
Was it him who does he butt chugs
Yeah,
beer?
butt chugs.
Yeah.
It's great. It's fantastic.
Oh my god.
Wait, really quick. One last thing about the Mark McGrath thing, because I just had to say it. The best part of that Mark McGrath story of him breaking up, $100. That is how far he has fallen. It was $100.
$100
to get Mark
Yep.
McGrath would break up with.
Yeah, but some celebrities on Cameo, it's not all wash-ups.
And some of them don't care either. It's just like, yeah, whatever, I'll do it. Like,
Yeah. But some of them
publicity.
clearly have no idea what they're really worth and are charging way too much.
Yeah.
Like stupid amounts of money. I think some of them were like over $600 for a cameo. And it's like, you haven't been relevant for over a decade, or, I wouldn't pay that. I wouldn't pay someone who I liked $600 to record a cameo for me.
Yeah, I understand. That's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, it is.
I will pay $5 for Emilio Estevez to break up with myself.
I to have Emilio Estevez address me as though he's breaking up with me.
I like
man.
you, but I just don't love you.
No. Oh my God. Have Emilio Estevez record a cameo kicking Charlie Sheen out of the family. Wow. Because like
So $20.
I don't know that Emilio Estevez is on there. I'm sure he's probably not. But imagine, like, if he was, I wonder if you could have them record something that personal to them. I'm sure they probably
They would
have
say
the
no.
ability to like veto whatever orders they get in or whatever, but it would be fucking hilarious.
I'd hope so. I mean, if there was no veto ability, people would be asking celebrities to do some weird fucking shit.
yeah, dude.
There's
just our
always
puppets.
Vito Pepitone ability.
Get them Pepitone powers.
Man, just because of his name, I hope he becomes famous someday.
He's doing a disservice
This is
to us
my
all.
manservant, Vito Pepitone.
He's doing a disservice to us all if he doesn't become famous, because that name needs to go places.
Yeah, right.
Someone put him in a mafia movie. You won't even have to give him a fake name.
Yeah.
Like, you just call him Vito.
Vito Pepitone.
Vito
Instead
Pepitone,
of
stockbroker.
hiring Nolan North to do every single voice of every single character in your mafia movies or in your mafia game, so when you're walking around and you hear the conversations happening, you can identify that it's just Nolan North talking to Nolan North.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, Nolan.
Yeah.
Vito.
I love him, but
Remember when he was a voice in Saints Row 4? It was a voice option just called Nolan North.
Yeah.
And he would speak about himself in like the third person the whole time. Like, he would blow something up and he would just go, and that's how Nolan rolls.
it's nuts. So he and Troy Baker have a Let's Play series called Retro Replay.
Which that's so amazing. That's so amazing.
Retro Replay got sucked into the Rooster Teeth family of channels. So now Nolan North and Troy Baker work for Rooster Teeth.
Rooster Teeth is huge, dude.
Yeah, it's insane.
I mean, they've
how
been at
big
it for
they've
so
gotten.
fucking long.
Like, I remember I was a season 2 sponsor of Red vs. Blue. My account on their website is 15 years old. Like, it's ridiculous how much they've grown in that time.
Yeah.
Your account can almost drive.
They
Yeah, right.
They hit that market before anyone else, you know? That's
I was
not
just
that they weren't doing great too, but they also just they got in so early. That's just the right strike, you know?
I was just reminiscing with Mel today about how I kind of miss there not being central distribution channels for content. And you'd have to go to people's websites and
like
and stuff like
Cinemassacre
that.
and shit like that.
Yeah, and because she was like, yeah, you know, we'll go to directly to Nostalgia Critic's website. I was like, I used to go directly to Rooster Teeth so I could download that week's episode of Red vs. Blue in DivX format.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you just aged yourself.
That was
Boomer.
That was
We got one.
That was like 2003, 2004, something like that.
So crazy.
Yeah.
Do you remember DivX format?
Yeah,
Pepperidge Farms
and then
remembers?
the follow-up Xvid.
Oh,
What about good old Real Media?
Oh,
real
God.
media.
I used to have a
Bringing
website
up
that
painful
had.
memories that I've suppressed.
I used to have a website that had streaming like video game soundtracks in Real Media format.
How did it sound?
I mean, great for the time,
Okay, yeah.
when you
For the
don't have
time.
anything to compare
considering
it
this
to.
was in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I wonder how it would sound now if you played one. Like, if you played one and just like, sat down.
horrible. Probably
Don't.
horrible.
I don't want.
It summons a demon into your living room.
For the beginning of our next podcast, we should have the theme song. Or even just this one. That'd be great.
Just crunch it down into real
Yeah, right. Bit crush the fuck out of it, render
Like,
it out
tie
at
it
like
behind-
16 kbps.
Tie that behind your car and drag it a while. You know? Oh man.
So, Brooks, the three of us, your podcast mates, have been kind of concerned about you lately.
I didn't do it.
And so
I think you did.
we've decided to set up an intervention. And we thought that the best time to do it would be publicly on the podcast.
I feel like we need some like ominous music going here, or like Sarah McLachlan.
Stop
like,
giving me post-production jobs.
I've already sent Zeke back to your house. He's burning your literature as we speak.
And
all of it.
actually, I need some supplies. I'll be right back.
Daddy's leaving. How do we talk? I don't know how to do this
I
anymore.
gotta go get some cigarettes.
Not again.
We can't speak.
Not again.
We can't speak when he's not here. Children should be seen, not heard.
In my opinion, children shouldn't even be seen.
Oh god.
Love you too.
Oh no.
do.
And we wanted to surprise you with these are numbered. 1.
Oh guys. I may very well cry.
Merry
For our
Christmas.
audio listeners, he's opening gifts.
Just make sure to tear into the camera.
So that's
Mike.
a clue as to what the rest of
I forgot about this.
And yes, what you're thinking is correct. We did get you V-Bucks in real life.
He has
Is there a gift receipt in here?
the limited edition of Fortnite tomato head action
Okay.
figure.
the bigger one is number 2.
Okay.
We should make a really shitty spoof of Jingle All the Way, but for that,
Right.
I need the tomato head action figure. It's the only thing my son wants.
I bet we could get Sinbad for that one.
Well. Yeah. Donuts. Fuck, dude.
We thought that
Merry
you
Christmas,
should.
buddy.
I wish it was a
Guys.
Smirnoff Ice, dude.
God, I should have.
Expecting it. For our audio listeners, it's a PS4.
Yeah, Brooks.
With
Brooks has
Spider-Man.
long been out of the current generation, so less
decided-
than a year before the new one comes
Yeah, right.
out, we've decided to bring him in.
Oh, fuck, dude.
And it comes with Horizon Zero Dawn, Last of Us Remastered, and God of War. Oh, but I thought that wasn't good enough, so I grabbed Spider-Man as well. And of course, the obligatory second controller.
Oh, fuck, guys. I have to hug you on camera. I threw my back out today, so this is going to be interesting.
If you die on us, that'll make this. That'll make this gift pointless, and I'll be disappointed.
Said it.
No.
You see, now I'm going to have to get you guys something dumb. Like Fortnite. Thanks.
We thought you really needed to be brought into
The real world?
the new generation.
You're out of the Matrix now.
Fuck. Yeah. Well, now I'm just going to look at this the entire time. I'm just going to stare into it and, use it to hide this erection. Damn.
And I think the to and from tags and things say to our boy Brooks from your boys.
I did see that. Well, mostly I saw this. I'm going to open it up now, actually.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's part of your gift.
Yeah, I have to.
You do get this Fortnite figure.
I really hope it comes with a little certificate for V-Bucks.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't, I guarantee.
Please.
I almost, instead of grabbing that, I almost grabbed one of the Ninja blind boxes.
Oh my god, yeah, that's right.
Wait, Ninja like the guy?
Yeah. Like the streamer.
It's Vito Pepitone.
Were you at Target for all that?
Yeah.
It's Vito Pepitone.
It's Vito Pepitone!
Vito's got to stay here with us, guys. It's just us peps.
Just us peps.
It blows my mind where video games have come, like
Right?
where we are, and like this kind of stuff would never be at Target when we were
Yeah,
kids.
no kidding.
Dude, make him T-pose.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah.
turbo time.
There's actually kind of a disturbing amount of Fortnite merchandise
I've
at
noticed.
Target.
Not surprising at all.
Target?
It's not surprising.
Really?
Yeah.
Honestly, with how popular it is, I get it.
I suppose.
It
Literally
is
every
currently
10-year-old in
the-
the world is playing Fortnite right now.
I'm just kind of surprised that it hasn't
Literally.
tipped over yet,
I'm surprised too, but they honestly, okay,
Vito.
as much crap as
No,
we
because
give
I'll
Fortnite,
never be able to give it back to you. This is a trap.
as much crap as we
Cigarettes are
give
going to smoke
Fortnite,
themselves.
they definitely do. Their seasons have been very different, and they've changed up the game quite a bit since it first came out.
Can his elbows bend? I don't think they
No,
can.
they can't.
You can't make him
I'm a little
dab, dude.
disappointed.
It's better that way.
I'm a little
Because he
disappointed he
can't
doesn't have
dab, he
any,
can't harm
any
us.
emote dance moves. Like you can't like hit a button and have him do the Turk.
Yeah, right. How do you know? Oh, I guess, yeah.
I call it the Turk. It's not the Turk.
It is,
but
yeah.
They stole it from
They
him.
fucking ripped that shit off.
Yeah.
How do you know what it's called?
The sounds of Christmas.
Yep. I know it's a bit
The
early
light
for
in the
Christmas,
young boy's
but
eyes.
And then everyone hit pause on the podcast at the same time and never came back.
You know what? This reminds me a lot of Christmas, except my mom and dad aren't screaming at each other in the background.
It's like Christmas, except that your dad isn't drunk and your mom isn't crying.
yeah,
Vito Pepitone.
it's a bit early for Christmas, but there was no fucking way that we were going to hold on to that for that long.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you guys didn't, because I was playing Shenmue this week. And I was just like, man, I gotta play something new, because like I got Shenmue this week, segueing into what I played this week temporarily. And I
Do
also
you know
got-
a place where I can participate in a street fight?
I changed the dialogue, the audio options to Japanese, just because I couldn't handle it, man.
That's
It
the
was so
fun of playing.
bad.
The game's not even fun, so you put the voice acting on English.
The game is a lot of waiting around.
Yeah.
That's why I said it's not fun.
And it's another one of those games that was kind
Where
of
the
big
fuck do
for
I
its
go?
time.
Yeah. Well, it looks great. I mean, like all things can. I mean, like he's got slightly more definition than Pepitone here. Maybe I don't know.
I always played Shenmue to the point where I could get to the arcade, and then I just played arcade games.
Yeah, because the game isn't good. You're literally looking for things to do that aren't playing Shenmue.
Yeah, I saw the review for Shenmue 3 come out, or one of them. I don't remember who it was, but it just made me laugh because it looked exactly like this from all the trailers that we've seen. But it's like the review was just a line. And it's like it plays like a game that was made by people who looked at the last 15 years of game development and went, nah.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
But the forklift, guys. I've been playing it at work. Shenmue is the perfect game for me to play at work because I can get up, I can just bring the menu up so the clock's still running and then go do shit like at work. Yeah. And then I come back and, all right, now I can go to the tattoo shop, Is
it the perfect game to play at work because it feels like a chore, so you feel a little less guilty that you're playing games while working?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like on Saturday, like I mopped the whole house I work at and played Shenmue at the same time.
Quote unquote played.
Yeah.
I experienced Shenmue the entire time. Man, I really love this stupid fucking collectible.
Yeah.
Like, I have so many Virtua Fighter and Sonic ones now that I'll never actually own, and it sucks. Sorry.
It's all right.
I'm excited.
You can let it out, brother.
I'm excited.
So,
I'm so excited I might eat 40 pizzas in 30 days.
I was just getting there. Back to the news. Papa John, the founder of Papa John's,
John Schnatter,
who is no longer affiliated with Papa John's.
Because he used the N-word.
Yeah, he used the N-word on a conference call. And
on a corporate sensitivity training conference of all things.
And for some reason he fucking poked his head out of his little troll hole to reveal that Papa John's pizza quality since he left has gone down. And he knows this because he ate 40 of their pizzas in 30 days.
Only 40.
And he was visibly sweating grease the entire time.
Yeah, he was shiny, and like if you walk too close to an open flame, you just go right up. It was.
And then he issued a very vague threat, and said that we will see. Whatever the fuck that means.
It means that he's gonna hang outside of the closest Papa John's to his house and just get drunk and start angrily shouting at people and delivery drivers as they come out. You're not wearing a uniform, right? Let me show you.
This pizza's not as good as it used to be.
I ate 40 pizzas in 30 days. I'm having a stroke again.
As long as he's getting closer to his goal of becoming Pizza the Hut.
But do you enjoy how, despite the fact that he's not part of the company anymore, he still wears that dumb red collared shirt?
I was just going to remark on that as well. What the fuck is this man?
I have nightmares about wearing. I used to work for Papa John's, and fuck that company. Like,
I also hate polos. So
this is a guy who, in response to Obamacare, said that he would be cutting his workers' hours and increasing the cost of pizza
by a nickel.
Yep.
By a nickel. I remember I was working during that controversy.
Yep.
Oh
yeah.
You're telling me that you've worked for a controversial restaurant?
Yes, I actually got from the lawsuit that came forward about drivers making less than minimum wage after vehicle expenses. I got a sick check from the court case on that.
Nice.
I didn't get anything for my time at Chick-fil-A.
So
your reward was the release.
That check must have been what, $10?
It was actually like 120.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Not bad.
That's pretty good.
I am curious to see where this goes.
I want to know what made him So 40 pizzas. Why 40 pizzas? And why are you being so specific about it?
And why would you eat 40 pizzas if you were saying that they changed the recipe and ruined the quality of your product? Why are you eating 40 pizzas?
Was he going to different Papa John's and ordering a pizza from each one?
Did he feel obligated to eat all of like the whole pizza?
Or did he accept like a slice?
Yeah, because like Six String Samurai, lonefully crossing the wasteland, stopping at each Papa John's. This is now his mission in life.
Let me tell you, this lobby isn't up to code. Can I shower in your bathroom?
No, dude, he's still got his fucking mansion. Like,
Can you imagine?
He's still rich.
Can you imagine the fucking? You know why the pizza quality has gone down? People know who the fuck he is. He goes in there like, look at this piece of shit. And so they fuck with this
pizza shit.
They go,
oh man, that'd be great.
Waiting.
There was a pube in every one of those pizzas. I guarantee it.
A slight poop, you know, a slight poop.
I'm just saying, Vito Pepitone would be very disappointed.
Vito Pepitone, pizza quality assurance. PQA.
Look, we gotta stop using this real person's name because I can't put it in the podcast title. This kid is gonna Google himself one day.
I'm sorry, Nito Pepitone.
Please put it in the title of the podcast. And please, I now have a personal mission to make Vito Pepitone make our podcast come up first in Google for that. So that he searches it and he sees him at the top of Google. And he's just like, what the fuck, guys?
Whatever, man. I'm jealous of his name. I wish my name was Vito Pepitone.
I say Vito, you say Pepitone. Vito
Pepitone.
Vito
Pepitone.
All right.
God damn it.
I really hope that he listens to this.
I really do too.
We're not making fun of him.
We're more like worshiping you.
Yeah. In other news, Netflix is being removed from older devices that support the streaming service. So older Rokus and older smart TVs are going to lose access to Netflix, which is, I think, the first case now that we've seen of an application cutting itself off due to the distance of time that has...
For a subscription service, yeah, but YouTube has already done this to older smart TVs years ago.
Oh, yeah. And Disney Plus actually had an issue with Vizio TVs from a couple years back, weren't able to run the service.
Really?
Yeah, because it's because of the difference in software. Since then, they stopped updating the software on the TVs, so like I guess it wasn't working. I don't remember exactly the reason for it, but yeah, it's a fairly common thing now.
I remember they're like at least back in the day, and like I had a Vizio, still do. I just know the applications on it because I have Fire Stick. It would always make my TV crash after like 40 minutes of using it too much, and sometimes I thought I smelled burning plastic. So,
That's how Vizio gets those TVs so short, so inexpensive.
Yeah, right.
It's shortchanging on the software.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting because I was obviously wrong, but it felt like, kind of where we've gotten to the first point where streaming services are starting to have to cut off, older technology where streaming has been around for long enough.
It was inevitable. It had to happen.
Now that they're having to cut that off.
It's definitely a fairly new thing because, how long have smart TVs been around really since 2010, 2011?
Maybe something like that.
Yeah. So, we're getting to the point where it's like after a while, they're going to stop updating those because there's no point. You're going to stop, just like a game console. You stop up supporting previous generations.
Yeah.
At a certain point, those previous generations don't mesh with the new generations. So.
Yeah, when it stops becoming cost effective, that's when, that's...
And TVs flip over so quickly. It's every year there's a new version of the same TV. So.
Yep. Not always worth the upgrade, but yeah.
We're going to live in the futuristic year of 2020, which, means that, we'll have outdated robots by then.
Yeah, true. 2020. It's going to be just like 2019, probably,
but cooler.
Yeah, pretty much,
because no one is going to say 2000 and 2019. No one's going to say 2020. I should say.
Yeah, everyone's going to say 2020.
Yeah, and then 2021, it's going to be 2021, which means that I'm finally going to get to live in the fucking future. Sans jetpacks, cool robots, aliens.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, you're living in the future, but it's not the cool future.
We're living in the prequel.
We don't have the cool future that everyone thought we would.
Yeah.
I don't know. We have some pretty ridiculous computers in our pocket.
Yeah, and
but
there
like,
is that.
We don't have all the radical stuff.
Yeah.
we don't have
Not all the radical stuff, but we have radical
we
stuff.
Have Vito pepperoni.
We do. I mean, look at that truck.
Oh yeah,
We got a space truck, man. We got a space truck.
We do have that truck. It's inevitable.
We really do. Yeah.
So is the minivan just going to be a GameCube with wheels?
I hope so.
I mean, if they just make a giant GameCube with wheels, it's indestructible. So
it's true. It better have the little carrying handle on the back of it.
That's how you pull it out of a wreck when it inevitably flips over.
all right, the car's good. Oh, man.
What else we got?
For those of you who enjoy fighting games, if you're following Guilty Gear Strive at all, because they finally gave us the actual name of it, and I'm surprised it's that simple, because normally Guilty Gear games have like stupid long anime titles.
Yeah.
Like Guilty Gear XR Revelator 2. Like,
Heaven or hell.
They put out some demo
Platinum
gameplay.
Edition.
I think they had 6 total characters to play. And I've been following a lot of the videos. They've simplified a lot of the mechanics and cut down some combo lengths, and the game looks fucking gorgeous. If there's anything that Arxis has done right, like aesthetically, it's Guilty Gear. Guilty Gear is like one of the most gorgeous fighting games ever.
Like ever since the original PlayStation, Guilty Gear has always been a standout as in terms of like visual design.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
In the fighting genre. Like
the soundtracks have always ripped.
Oh yeah. I mean, have you guys heard the new theme song?
No.
It's called "Smell of the Game."
Oh wait,
Yes!
I did.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's really good.
It's really good, and when they were playing the song live at that demo reveal that they were having and everything, the whole crowd was singing it. Because it's funny English pretty much.
Sure.
Because it's a Japanese dude just singing in English, and the lyrics make absolutely no sense.
No.
It's like feel this bullshit blazing. That is bullshit blazing. Like that's actual lyrics. Like it just keeps going.
Well,
but the song is so hype. It's so fucking good.
I love those bad anime songs.
Yep.
Because there's always like one or two English words, even in just the cartoon show stuff where it's like Kuruta arcade machine.
This one is all in English. All English.
Bad
Even
English.
better.
Even better.
Life's
yeah.
a crazy book, guys. So.
God, was it South Park thing? The last fighting love.
Yeah. That's fighting love. Yeah. Oh,
I was
boy.
watching JoJo, the Bizarre Adventures of JoJo.
JoJo's Bizarre
JoJo's
Adventure.
Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't like it. So
Really?
I
Wait,
really
how do you
don't.
not like
How
it?
the hell do you not?
Yeah,
there's a character
popular
named
opinion
Lee.
The name is Yes.
And Robert
I do love
E.
the yes.
Speedwagon.
I do love the yes.
And yeah, every character is named after a 70s rock band.
Also, the first season is kind of whack.
Okay, I got the first.
Yeah.
I started watching the first season. I
The
finished
first
the first
part of the first
season, and I
season
got,
was
I was like sitting there watching it. I'm like, why do people like this? I didn't get it.
The second season is when they finally develop their sense of humor, and like the show
I'll have to let it go. I'll have to let it keep going.
I was watching
But
the
it hurt
first season,
my brain.
and I fell
Speedwagon.
into it on the first season because I knew that it had like these were all jokes. Like this entire thing was like they may be playing it super serious in the first season, but it's fucking hilarious because you cannot take it seriously.
Yeah, you're not supposed to.
Speedwagon.
My issue with it. Okay, so I know I am a horrible anime watcher. I watch it dubs. I don't sub.
Boo.
And I think that might be part of it because they have all the English accents and then weird Brooklyn accents that are just really fucking bad, and it's not translated very well or something. I don't know. It's really bad.
I will also tell you
I don't like it.
that the Japanese voice acting cast for JoJo's is
amazing.
it's stellar.
Yeah.
So that's something you're missing out on because they are better than a lot of other like standard anime voice acting
And
casts.
I watch most of my anime when I'm working because it's the only time I have really.
Well, you don't actually need to
So I
hear the
have to- I have
dialogue.
to hear
You know that, right?
And
Hi,
There are
cat.
only
Oh my god.
there are only a handful of anime that are worth watching dubbed. Cowboy Bebop being one of them.
Yes.
Cowboy Bebop is amazing.
Cowboy Bebop. Honestly, Gundam Wing.
Gundam
Wing's
wasn't
English dub
terrible.
Is pretty good.
Well, except for just hearing what the fuck was her name, Relina.
Hiro. Yeah.
Just the amount that she did that in the most annoying way all of the time.
I know you hate it, but Dragon Ball Z.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, 100% Dragon Ball Z.
Hunter x Hunter isn't bad dubbed. I've watched both of it. And My Hero Academia is actually not bad dubbed.
Honestly, though, like it all depends on how I am first exposed to the show. It's like if I'm interested, like One Punch Man. I watch One Punch Man with subs, and I cannot watch it. I cannot watch a dub.
Sure.
No, because again, the voice acting cast for the Japanese version of One Punch Man is so good.
Yeah.
That's when I watched with subs.
So
but I
good.
also watched with dubs, and it wasn't bad.
Gundam is also one I feel like you need to watch in English because there's so much exposition of like military stuff going on.
Yeah, there's a lot to follow with any of the Gundam series. Which, by the way, the best one is 8th MS Team. 8th MS Team is the best Gundam series. It's a short series. It is.
That is actually my preferred.
Very, very good.
I always tell people that talk to me about getting into Gundam. It's like, yeah, watch 8th Team because it's in the first universe.
Yeah.
But it was made during the best time for Gundam ever in the mid 90s.
Though people have said that Gundam Seed is amazing. I have not spent any time with Gundam Seed.
I didn't like
but
it
I've
so
heard
much.
That it's really good.
As a teenager myself, it just I don't know. I might try it again. I did start watching Iron-Blooded Orphans, which is Gundam. I think it's like 2 seasons.
Oh, okay.
It's like last 5 or 6, 10 years, maybe. I don't know. It's on Netflix. It's less, at least so far. I've only a couple episodes in. It's less. I have to stand here and talk about things, and we can't watch any Gundam fights because I'm still talking about things. It's just like, oh, you want some Gundam fights? You want some like hardcore like violence? There you go. Cool.
With a name like Iron-Blooded Orphans, it better be brutal.
Yeah,
right.
Four words. Child soldiers on Mars.
There you go.
You mean every anime ever?
Yeah.
Yeah, every anime character, they're all 10.
They're all adults.
I don't understand that with anime in general. Just the making every character unreal, and it's actually fantasy too. There's a lot of fiction where they make all the main characters ridiculously young, and you're like, why? Just make them teenagers. I can touch. But
I think because most of that stuff, technically speaking, their target demographic is the age group for that
so
they're casting in those roles,
right?
And because they, adults happen to also enjoy it, that's kind of a side thing. But their target demographic is the age range of the characters in the production.
They're being made for Japanese children.
Yeah.
And then people around the world just watch it, you know?
I guess that makes sense. But it doesn't excuse like fantasy. There's a whole bunch of fantasy
But it's
novels.
kind of the same with fantasy.
Do the same
man.
thing.
Harry Potter is a great example.
Game of Thrones.
Harry Potter's target demographic were children.
Game of Thrones. Half of the main characters are like the Stark children are in the books are like 8, 10. And it's more the unrealistic nature of what they're doing. Like Robb Stark's supposed to be like 12. And it's like,
how is it unrealistic when it's in a universe that doesn't exist?
Also, I mean,
checkmate, atheist.
I get where you're coming from, but also I think contextually it makes sense for that kind of thing because they're part of these dark noble families that all have these terrible histories and all the violence and all the intrigue. You got to grow up fast in an environment like that.
Yeah, I was going to say, even in like medieval times, not the restaurant.
Living to be 12 in a universe like that means you've lived to adulthood as far as everyone is concerned.
Yeah, and
I mean, there's a reason why Romeo and Juliet, they're both little kids in Shakespeare.
That's true.
Yeah, and I think the most unrealistic part about any of these scenarios is the fact that they don't have just tons of dead brothers and or sisters.
Yeah,
that constantly reference.
A lot of them do.
Yeah,
Baldric, died. Baldric died falling out of a window when he was 4. It's like weird little things like that.
Daldrick had typhus.
Dildrick made it to 6 months and then he died of the fever.
Speaking of medieval times, did you hear that 2 people contracted the plague in China?
I did hear that. I wasn't sure if you were going to. I wasn't sure which way you were going.
I was
like the restaurant.
I had already said not the restaurant.
Yeah, but this one could have been the restaurant.
Could have been a switcheroo, as they say.
Speaking of medieval times, did you hear about the plague outbreak?
At medieval times.
Shit. Man, they're really sticking to the bit.
Yeah, right. You're
not getting paid any extra money for this, right?
They
Derek?
actually now they've started hiring lepers for all of their waiters to be more charitable and on brand.
Why is this green finger in my food?
Well, I went to taste
Different medieval times.
Got your nose.
Different medieval times are marrying the princesses off to each other.
Political shower bibs.
The lepers that work in the kitchen work very tirelessly to make sure that they're trying to get too much of themselves into their food.
We must secure the wealth of the Princess of Scottsdale.
Vegas and Scottsdale have formed an alliance. They're preparing an invasion for the Colorado version.
So when the apocalypse goes down and that happens, then I'm going to say you were right. Right before one of us dies of typhus. Dad, I just want you to know. Right.
Wait, typhus, isn't that the name of the main character in Final Fantasy X?
Nice.
Hiatus.
Oh, that's right.
I don't think
No, for a real.
I thought you were joking.
It can be whatever you want.
I was making a joke, but then while I was telling the joke, I forgot what his real name was.
Way to go, idiot.
Hold on. We have to laugh like Titus.
God.
Oh, God.
In other news, if any of you play tabletop or D&D or anything like that,
Oh, yes.
I think it's specifically 5th edition. They're kind of testing the waters on adding psionics to it. So it's not actually a psionic class. I can see your look of distaste already, Brooks. It is a wizard archetype that...
Oh, you mean one of these?
Yeah, of course. It's a wizard studying psionics like he would arcane magic and using it the same way he would like any other wizard.
So they're trying to make it less lame.
Yeah. So they're trying to make it so they're seeing if psionics are going to work for people, and they're just making it like a wizard class will have psionic abilities instead of arcane spells, and people are chimping out about it because nobody wants psionics in their like D&D. I've never understood why.
It's
Why
kind of
don't
like
people like it?
If you look at the history of the releases, it's like psionics always comes at like the midway point of a life of an edition, or like. Psionics always like the last thing they try to bring in, and it's always dumb.
And I've noticed it ruins balance a lot of the time. In like Pathfinder, they did a psionic ad, and it's really fucking busted. It's crazy overpowered. So
Is that the reason why people don't like it? Because it just ends up unbalancing the game?
People are worried about game balance. I always forget about that. As somebody who hates munchkins and like isn't trying to streamline combat, I like things that are broken in both good ways and bad ways.
Yeah.
But I get it. A lot of people play D&D and Pathfinder specifically to cut as many things in half as possible in the shortest amount of time.
They don't want to
boring.
use, body lasers.
For me, the point of D&D is the role playing and the creating a character and having fun with that more than it is the combat.
Yeah, for me, it's all about role playing.
I get to be someone else for once, which that's nice.
I get to eat snacks and roll dice. That's why I play Dungeons and Dragons.
and drink Mountain Dew and stay up later than my parents let me at home.
It's Code Red. God, I had one of those like a couple of months ago. I was someplace,
Code Red.
and I think someone had a can of it, and I was it was so bad.
It's disgusting.
I love Code Red. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I haven't had it in so long, and it was like getting assaulted in the parking lot by cherry flavoring.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. I can't do the dew. I've never been able to.
I like Baja Blast.
Me neither.
That's
Baja
always been my
Blast,
thing.
actually, I like Baja Blast. Baja Blast is the only one that I ever liked.
One of the few normal like sodas, non-craft sodas that I actually really enjoy drinking.
I think the only soda that I really like is root beer. Root beer is my jam.
That's your soda?
That is my soda of choice.
Okay.
If I drink soda, which I very rarely do, but root beer is the way I go.
Man, I drink soda constally. I'm
favorite-
trying to get better at that, though.
My favorite cola is Moxie.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
I'm surprised you didn't say knee high.
No, I'm not my dad, okay?
Or what is the...
I'm sorry.
God, what's the red one?
He used to have RC Cola and Moon Pie when he was on break at work from picking tobacco.
You talking about Tab, Ryan?
No. Well, we already know
We know
that.
Brooks
We
loves
already
Tab.
know that Brooks loves
some
Tab. No, I'm trying... It's like an older soda called like Big Red or some shit like
I
that.
have no fucking
Big
clue.
Red's good.
Yeah.
Big Red's like a red cream soda. All right.
Of course he knows.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Okay. All right. Well, you guys were
I was getting confused.
Well, you guys were getting into beer and
I
stuff at the appropriate age.
studied the blade.
I studied the soda. like Brent can tell you about all the kinds of weird soda we were trying out, and like I think the best was Fry's had this like peach soda. Had this peach soda that was
wouldn't happen to have been...
it was like Fry's brand.
Oh, Fry's brand, really?
Yeah, Fry's brand.
Because I think it was peach. I had a great...
Good mixer.
I had a great peach soda from an Australia company called Bundaberg.
Oh, Bundaberg makes fantastic.
They do great root beer. They do great ginger beer. But they also do a peach, and it's with the thing with Bundaberg is it's all fermented. Like it's all made through fermentation.
Yeah, there's like stuff in their drinks.
Yeah,
and I'm like, yeah, I like it dirty and cloudy, and I like my ginger beer basically just caustic battery acid.
He wants to be able to shine his muffler with it.
But like,
I
as a
enjoy
result,
chugging live cultures. I am flexing on bacteria.
it just super tasted like peach, and it was but carbonated, and I love it. It was absolutely great. But it's one of you are more likely to run into the root beer or the ginger beer than you are any of their other flavors.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Just like the name, Bundaberg. It's really fun to say.
Meanwhile, in Bundaberg. Speaking of Nicolas Cage,
I feel like that transition can always be used.
yeah, exactly. It's a free transition. It's like the free space on bingo. And speaking of Nicolas Cage,
But what of Battleborn?
oh shit!
Oh yeah.
Battleborn before I jump into the Nick
Right.
Cage being Nick Cage thing.
So yeah,
Oh yeah.
Battleborn is they're closing down the servers, and the game will be officially unplayable starting next year.
Doesn't surprise
Bjorn?
me. I was in the beta for that, and it was uninteresting.
It also
and
got crushed by Overwatch.
It got absolutely destroyed by Overwatch.
Battleborn was the one with where you could play like as Viking, right?
What?
No.
Viking? Okay, well, I'm thinking of something.
It was
different.
all basically like cyber ninjas.
Yeah.
It was
yeah.
Gearbox's thing.
Didn't it come out right at the same time as Overwatch
Yes,
2?
and that's why it got destroyed by Overwatch. I even, at that time, I had problems. I mixed up Battleborn and Overwatch all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And Overwatch just ended up taking that throne.
Took the baton and ran with it. It's just, it had a decently strong following for a little while. And the thing about it is that you have to pay for it, and there is a campaign apparently. So like, it's interesting to see a game that people had to buy and that they'll never be able to play it again. Not that there's that many people able to play it.
But I mean,
wanting to play it right now. But
that's kind of happened. That has happened many times in the past, and I've been very sad. At least in one specific case, my buddy Dale and I both loved EA's Earth and Beyond. It was a space MMO where you were flying around in your spaceship and shit, and like it just felt great. It was a ton of fun, and it was not necessarily super well received, and so it ultimately ended up shutting down, and so they ended up shutting down those servers. But what happens when you have any amount of fandom behind a game, like that, or like Battleborn or whatever, that fandom usually is pretty quick to get to work to reverse engineering the server software in order to keep it living.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like with City of Heroes.
Now,
Yep.
As we speak now, someone's working on it.
Yeah, almost certainly. Like the second that announcement went out, if not before that announcement went out, I bet the community was already working on private server strategy.
I'm sure it was before, because people just think of how prolific the World of Warcraft private server market was during the game's still height of its popularity.
Yep.
Because nobody wanted to pay to play it.
There's the matter of not wanting to pay to play, and then beyond that, there's they made modifications to the functionality of it. And so when Blizzard would make changes that they disagreed with, they just wouldn't implement those same changes.
And some of those private servers they barely even resembled the original game. Like, people would take that shit far.
Yep.
Just the thing about that Battleborn, for me, the reason that I brought it up as an interesting thing too, is I feel like this is probably one of the first games where microtransactions was a major part of the way that
microtransactions part of Battleborn.
Yeah, you could buy stuff. I
only played the betas, so I don't think that they had anything live at that time.
You could buy skins. They had in-game currency that you could grind, your basic grind, or you can pay for it kind of thing. And it's like, how much money did people who are super into the game spend on that game?
Now it's entirely
not enough to keep it alive.
Apparently not.
Yeah.
Take that.
That makes me more excited than actually learning that this game existed.
What?
The fact that all these microtransactions will have been for naught. Or the fact that now they don't matter. So when someone brings back a legacy server for it, that's it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's something that I've never really thought about.
Post microtransaction wasteland.
These games as a service, when microtransactions are involved, that is all throwaway money. That's all money that it's not even a matter of you could lose access to this game at any point in time. It's a matter of maybe you sunk, $1,000 into this game in microtransactions, and all of that is going to go away.
Yeah. Whatever. That's the way of all things.
Yeah.
I enjoy throwing things into the ether. I think it's satisfying sometimes. It's good. It's just don't have to worry about this anymore. Gone. I'm glad that Warframe is still going strong, because I have sunk a lot of money into that game. But I get it. When that goes down, I'm going to be like, shit, I'm bummed out. But also, whatever. It's a game. It was going to go away eventually.
Can you imagine when a game like Eve shuts down?
Oh my gosh.
that will actually collapse an economy. There's a lot of real world money tied up in that game.
Yeah.
It's insane what has happened in that game.
Yeah, no kidding.
It blows my mind. I've only watched videos of people playing it. I'm like, I don't know if I'll ever play this, but knowing the stories around everything, it's like, holy shit.
Man, at this point, the barrier to entry is daunting. Yeah. And the fact that you would be going up against Something Awful goons, because Goon Fleet is probably still the largest fleet in that. I don't want to be dealing with Something Awful goons. That is not, they're
Are they like the Team Rocket of this online thing?
Not really.
Way more, I don't have a nice word for this.
Dickish?
The best way to put it is...
They're space libertarians.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay.
EVE Online did something that I think is hilarious, in that it revealed the true nature of a lot of people who can't do these things in real life, but immediately took the opportunities to do them the moment they were able to online. A lot of bad corporate deals, embezzling, murdering people for the fun of it. These are things these people just wish they could do. Now that real world money is tied into it, there are people actually making a living off of embezzlement and blowing up enemy corporations and raiding people's actual supply stores and doing all that dumb shit to people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bad space pirates out there.
There was a huge thing a while back where Goon Squad had a... I don't think they were the biggest fleet at the time. They were not the biggest corporation at the time. and they had someone on the inside who rose through the ranks in the biggest corporation, and it rose so high through the ranks that this. And I'm going to miss all the details. People who are fans of EVE Online and who follow this more closely than I do are going to get upset that I'm missing a lot of details here. But
what are you going to do?
Basically,
blow me up with your fake spaceship? Fuck you.
But basically, it was a dude who had been with this corporation for long enough to rise high enough through the ranks to be the insider who took down that corporation.
Oh, he's a Cowboy Bebop.
And there was like a huge fight that resulted in the destruction of like tens of thousands of actual
I remember watching it. It
dollars.
was going down because the fight was so complex. The game time, the actual real time you're watching it in, had to go to a severe slowdown to actually run all of the calculations to make it happen. So all of the ships firing and blowing each other up actually took hours of real world time to play out because the game couldn't handle it.
Whoa.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
it was a real war. I will say the thing that's terrifying about the goons is that when they commit to something, they are all in.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I mean,
you learn
and
something new every day.
to be clear, not to fucking shit on any goons. Something awful is just like something awful. I would rather deal with something awful goons than 4chan betards.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna. It's not to shit on the goons. It's just anyone who's on EVE Online is probably a shithead.
Yeah.
like it's just a game that you have to be a shithead on to succeed.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you're from something awful or any other forum. Like if you're on EVE, you're being a dick.
Yeah,
That's what you're doing.
yeah.
That should be the game's new tagline. If you
You're
play,
Eve.
you're probably a
You're
dick.
being a
Eve,
dick.
every villain ever.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's the thing, man. Like that commitment that the goons have. That's the reason why Goon Station on Space Station 13 is like one of the most refined servers. It has so many things you can do, even above other space station stuff. Like the goons just all in, all the time.
They commit.
Yeah.
They really do commit.
Commit to the bit.
What else? Anything that we need to get out here? This John Boyega thing that you put down here, Tyler.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah,
I
so-
hadn't heard about this.
The Star Wars, the new Star Wars movie, the script leaked on eBay. I think it was last week, and it was being sold. And
Oh yeah, this
they
lady.
bought it back.
So wait, it's the new Star Wars? Really? So
And
it's
this-
not for the one that's already out.
I'm not going to say how much, but the person who sold it could have been rich, and instead they made a big mistake.
$85.
They didn't know. I think it was
$85.
Yeah.
That's how much it was for. It was on.
She could have been a millionaire, but
Hold up. They put it on $85. Buy it now?
she didn't know what it
I
was.
She didn't know what it
I
was.
didn't see the actual.
I don't
listing.
see the exact. I think it was. I saw $50, but regardless,
Maybe
yeah,
it went all the way up to.
they did not
85.
know what they found, and then the story came out this week that John Boyega is the reason it happened because he was moving out of his apartment at the time, and he had the script and he left it under his bed, and then he was talking to friends and stuff, and they moved it out, and he left it there, and he realized that he left it there, so he went back to find it, and it was gone.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yikes!
Wow.
So, yeah, the script gets stolen, gets put on eBay for a ridiculously low cost, and I think that the studio got on top of it and bought it back immediately.
I was going to say, man, holy shit.
That's crazy.
Could you imagine being the first person to find that?
I can
on eBay?
imagine.
Not being the person to sell it, but it's being the person to find it for $50 on eBay.
I would not believe it.
I would buy it, and then I would sell it for $1 million.
Yeah. I'm really disappointed that I didn't find it on eBay.
Yeah, right.
Not that I'm looking on eBay for Star Wars leaked scripts, but maybe I'm going to in the future now.
Yeah.
now
Set up an alert just for Star Wars.
Google alert. That'll great.
You know, speaking of Star Wars, I did watch The Mandalorian this week.
Isn't it fucking outstanding?
Let me tell you, I wanted it to be bad. I secretly wanted it to be like, okay, you see, it still sucks. But I can't.
Yeah, no.
I absolutely
Nope.
cannot. Because it draws from so many things that I personally love. and it manages to be fresh and original. And the fact that it's Lone Wolf and fucking Cub.
Yep.
Holy shit. I have not watched the 4th episode yet.
It is a great
and I
episode.
kind of fell asleep through the 3rd one, but it was like 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
I don't like kids. I don't want kids. This has been established. I want to protect the fuck out of Baby Yoda.
Yep.
I need to protect him. He's such a beautiful little thing. He's such a beautiful, adorable little thing, and I
Protect
can't help
this boy.
it. You gotta protect this boy.
Meme, all the Baby Yoda memes are fucking killing
They're
me.
great.
Yeah, they're great.
Like,
They are really
the
great.
Cat one, the one with the cat, it just gets me every time. Every fucking time. And also I did spend some time jumping down into old cartoons this morning.
Oh yeah.
Like I revisited DuckTales and Darkwing Duck, and I haven't done Goof Troop or Bonkers yet, but
one that I didn't remember liking as much as I remember as much as I like now revisiting it was Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers.
Oh,
I remember enjoying it as a child, but I was way more into Darkwing Duck and Tailspin and
Darkwing
shit
Duck
like
is
that.
cool and funny.
But Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers is just fucking great.
It is amazing.
And as I was watching it, I was remembering all the old tropes, how Monterey Jack.
I've been catching all the little "this is for grown-ups" moments they stick in there. Just like not even so much jokes, but just like that piece, like little things like I was watching an episode of Darkwing Duck where they did Hopper's Nighthawks painting for a second with the diner, the burger, where I'm a big nerd, guys.
I know what you're talking about. I think everyone has had a print of that before.
I love it so.
And also my favorite Tom Waits album is Nighthawks at the Diner.
My Tom Waits.
I watched a lot of Star Wars, Clone Wars this week.
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
I noticed that was on there, and I'm just like
so much because I'm gonna catch up because they have the new season coming out for Star Wars Clone Wars, even though they're 3 series past it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm so excited for it because it is Star Wars in its purest form. Mandalorian is now number 2, but forever Clone Wars, Star Wars Clone Wars is just like it's so good. It's Star Wars like it should be.
Are you talking about the original hand-drawn animated one or the 3D animated one?
3D animated one. It is so like some of it.
Ooh, compose yourself, Tyler.
One, they give, and this is one of my favorite things. They Darth Maul is in it, and they actually give him the character that he was supposed to have. Because obviously a lot of stuff from episode 1 got cut with Darth Maul, and he was like, oh, everyone's like, oh, this guy looks really cool. And then he was just a faceless baddie. But they bring him back in Clone Wars. And the arc with him going from, it spans several seasons, is so good. It's so good. And then it ties in with Solo at the end. And then they tie it in. They tie in a few episodes with Saw Gerrera from Rogue One. He's a character. Actually, Saw Gerrera first showed up in Clone Wars. He was a Clone Wars character, and they canonized him by pulling him into the in Star Wars Rogue One.
Right on.
And then after he showed up in Star Wars Rogue One, they went back to him and actually had Forrest Whitaker voice him later on, and I think it was in Rebels. But
that would make sense.
It's so good. It is the best Star Wars, and if you haven't seen it, watch it because I love it so much. It's so good. There's so many good, there's a lot of fillers. So there are guides to watch it in the right order, or not the right order, but to just skip the stupid, because there's Jar Jar episodes that suck, and there are Padme episodes that suck, but there are just, suck. So bad. But the political storylines are actually super in depth and interesting. The battles are freaking hardcore, and the character, they make Anakin's rise to becoming Darth Vader so much better than it was in obviously in the prequels. They make it make sense. But so good.
So the real question is, who's at the end of? Because I haven't watched it yet. Who's at the end of Return of the Jedi on Disney Plus? Is it Hayden Christensen, or is it that other guy, the real Darth?
At the end of Return of the Jedi?
Yeah, the Force Ghost thing.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't watched it yet.
I don't know. Yeah, I haven't watched it yet either.
I guess we'll have
It's
to.
probably going to be Hayden Christensen. Like, you know it's going to be. We have technically gotten to the end of the podcast.
Oh, I'm sorry. I went on a rant.
But since we're on the Star Wars stuff, there's some Star Wars news that hit today.
There will be another Star Wars film.
What?
Billy D. Williams came out as
I saw
non-binary,
Really?
as gender neutral. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
He feels that he has embraces both the masculine and the feminine, and identifies as he and she, and is so not non-binary in the they them sense, but identifies with both.
I mean,
That's pretty cool.
Billy D. Williams is the coolest cat in the galaxy.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, he is.
You know, Colt 45.
I'm just saying I can hear the internet screeching from here.
Yeah, right.
There's a whole bunch of, I can guarantee a whole bunch of
Someone is currently
basement
drawing,
trolls screeching over Twitter.
and also someone is currently drawing Lando Calrissian with a rainbow cape.
Oh, 100%.
That would be amazing.
It has to be metallic, though, guys. Just putting it out there. It's got to be metallic and silky smooth.
So, real quick, what have you guys been playing this week?
Lots of Pokemon. So much Pokemon. I played for 8 hours yesterday. I have no regrets.
Ion Fury and Shenmue.
Well done.
Dan's been playing himself.
Yeah, I'm a
playing
fool.
Congratulations.
You've been playing yourself.
Not much.
Vito Pepitone.
Really?
Got nothing going on. I know. Warframe.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of video game time.
It was kind
a lot
of
of Rock Band again,
Oh,
because
yeah, we
I think
played a shit
me
ton
and
of
Tyler
Rock
played
Band.
Rock Band
4
days in
straight.
1 week.
Yeah.
It was kind of a
Sunday,
kind of
Monday,
a
Tuesday.
weird week that I
Thursday.
actually got to play
Thursday.
video games during this week.
I ended up picking up Ori and the Blind Forest on Switch because it was on a Black Friday deal.
Nice.
Very pretty
and
game.
that port is gorgeous. That port, it's smooth as fuck and it's beautiful.
Perfect.
So I'm
That's the
very
perfect game
happy
for the
with that.
Switch. I
Yeah. Highly recommend it.
Cool.
Excuse me.
Well, on that note, thank you for watching and or listening. We'll see you in the next one.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Bye-bye.
I'm taking off today and breathe. Sometimes you have to sit if you want to make a stand. Hate this shit, taking liberties. Taking liberties.
Luke, it says I'm locked out of my account again.
Yeah, let me tell you something, brother. You load the podcast with the rocket fuel, and you start the mega powers, and you hit that subscribe button. Ooh, I'm not gonna rip my shirt because it's the only one I have right now. Subscribe.